You need to get this book because it tells you everything about chakras. But what are chakras? Chakras are you or your energy. Let me explain. This is a rainbow, and this is what happens when light from the sun is scattered by water droplets through a process called refraction. Let's unpack that real quick. When light passes through the raindrops, it creates a visible light. Now let's tie this in back to you. You are like a prism. When the sun shines down on the earth, the visible light that comes from you is your reality. Let's unpack this a little further. If you equate the triangle to your physical body, then the most important thing about the triangle is the light that comes out of it. So being outside or dealing with nature, allowing light to come through you and then activating your chakras creates your reality. Hard to understand, but let's look at one more picture. Now, we may think that it's all about our body's exterior, how we look is going to create our reality. But if you really think about it, when the energies hit your body, it's all about how you feel in your mood, which then allows you to act to create the things that are in your reality. So by understanding your inner, you create your outer, but it's more related to chakras and it's a lot to it. This is why you need to get this book because it tells you everything about chakras. This nigga right here, most people are scared of. But what if I told you he is here to bring you particular wisdom? This nigga right here is your deaf self. He knows all about the moment that you're going to transition. He can teach you how to avoid the moment that you would transition so you can live longer. That's why it's always counterintuitive to never avoid this energy. Irony is most people avoid this dude like the plague because they don't want to transition. But if you don't want to transition, you can tap into this energy to figure out how you can live longer. Happy Halloween. What up, what up, what up? I'm gonna get my tripod set up so y'all can see me in a second. But before that, let's just talk about what I came here to talk about, and that is chocolate, ladies and gentlemen. I am a chocolate man, dark chocolate, Snickers, Hershey's chocolate bar. That's kind of my energy, melt in your mouth, not in your hands type of person. So in reference to this chocolate energy, man, I just one day got inspired to make some chocolate bars, man, and they've been going crazy. And it's more than just like eating chocolate because it's chocolate. Because I don't even like chocolate. Like, as much chocolate as I am, you see, like, you can't even fully see me on the screen because I'm so chocolate. Uh, yeah, I don't even like chocolate, but I'm telling you, these food of the god bars, another level, man. And I really do appreciate everybody's support in the endeavor. People who have one more favor, that adapter. Gracias. Everybody that's been supporting thus far, as I try to just get some light on your boy. I don't want y'all to just be looking at no glitching screen for an hour and a half. That would low-key give me an anxiety. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Not even gonna lie. Plus, I'm entering my handsome years. Y'all gotta see this face. Hope everybody is all right. Hope everybody is doing well. Today we're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse that's going to be taking place tomorrow, October 28th, 2023. But the energies have been on the earth for the past 3 days strong. It gets stronger leading up to the 28th and it kind of dies down moving into Halloween. So, in essence, we have a Halloween blood moon. So, as everybody is dressing up, wearing masks, I hope that you are working with your ancestors and doing spiritual work. Because the energy is very strong spiritually, you may feel like your back is against the wall or you're experiencing some form of a negative situation or circumstance. The reason for this said quote unquote negative experience or test or trial or tribulation is so you could begin to deal with the spiritual power. So, hopefully, y'all visit whiterabbitpsych.com. You might have to like go through the site to find the Food of the God bars, or you can sort the page and go latest is one of our latest products for it to come first. If you have joined the email list, be sure to do that because every week we send out a coupon. So whatever the price is on the candy bar, you can save $10 instantly, and it's ranging up. So if you spend 100, you will save $25, and if you spend 200, you will save 50. So with that being said, you gotta sign up to the email to get the actual access to the deals, and I feel like it's a great business, it's a great cause, it's a great community, and we do a lot of good work and we have fun with it. White Rabbit Psychedelics is just one of those things that I'm extremely proud of. It, keeps the engine running, keeps the bills paid. And with that being said, I appreciate everybody's support thus far, and we got a lot more growing to go now into the future because psychedelics is the future, and my goal, my hopes, and my dreams is to infuse the technologies of fungi and plant medicine together to create healing modalities for individuals because I suffer from mental health issues regardless of anything. One's in the chat if you felt like an alien on this planet, like you never fit in, like you the black sheep, you on the outside looking in type energy. If that is anything to do with you, that's a lot to do with me. And in order for me to get my shit in order, I microdose daily and I'm exercising, I'm making better decisions in my life, and to be a man, to have children, and to have mental health issues, um it's not inopportune. A lot of times it's not the ideal situation to struggle, and not to say that struggling is bad and no shame in struggling, but there is solutions, and it's part of my job and part of my goal to provide solutions to those who are interested in those solutions. And it's not everybody on the website or everybody on my YouTube. It's people that I help consistently that don't even know I do YouTube. So it's just one of those things that we live the life that we are here to live. And I got a lot of different topics that I want to talk about this evening, but the main thing that I want to talk about is spiritual development. And what is this thing that we call spiritual development? Well, I want to speak directly to the person that's listening, that I have their ear, that they're able to actually hear what I'm actually saying right now. Spiritual development is cultivating who you actually are, the personality of your soul, right? Why would then that be different from actual development of said personality? because the personality that you've developed on earth is strictly based on your mother and father. If they had money, didn't have money, if they loved you, didn't love you, did daddy say he was going to get some cigarettes and never came back? And these could create serious moldings upon the personality. Well, spiritual development is being able to get past all of the existential and inner blocks and get to a clear, free stream of spiritual intuition to where you can begin to cultivate and craft who you truly are based upon developing who you truly are. And that's why we are constantly in this process of filling our cup, emptying our cup, cleaning our cup, filling our cup, emptying our cup, cleaning our cup. And it is a process and it is a understanding. But as we begin to look at the bigger picture, I would say, we can find peace in knowing that there is more to us in this life. So this is the goal. So what what am I saying that might be different from what you have previously heard over and over and over again? Maybe you've heard that you are responsible for other people. And so you live a life of service, taking care of your kids, serving your husband, serving your wife, and all of these things are good. However, if this is your identity, if you make life decisions based on what you do for others, how you make people feel, then you'll easily lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, maybe you develop personally, but you're definitely not going to be here uncovering the truth of who you are. So, what is spiritual development? Spiritual development is curating and crafting the true version of who you actually are. And this is why we are here. This is why we are having this conversation. Uh, this video may or may not be long. If you want a 4-minute read, you can click the first link in my description. That is hoodmystic.substack.com. No, it's not even Hood Mystic. It's whiterabbit.substack.com. It is a link. However, when you click that link, it'll take you to my Substack. You can join for free or join for $5 a month. These articles, man, I'm actually not giving them away for free, right? $5 a month, $55 for the whole year, and you'll have access. Or I have another tier, which is watch this long ass video, which is cool because I like doing them, and some people like long videos. But I'm going to go through the article on the YouTube. I'm going to explore the links, and we're just going to have an observational study of the celestials, but in more of an observational tone. That's going to come later. But before we get into the observation, I'm going to get into more of a channel, more of a deeper understanding of what's taking place spiritually in reference to the lunar eclipse from my POV, right? And the reason that I value my POV is because I consistently study these things, around lunar eclipse time. A bunch of people start talking about said lunar eclipse that otherwise would be talking about something completely different. And for me, these are just, for me, timing is everything. And understanding timing, it teaches you how to be patient. It teaches you how to work through timing and understanding how to let things go, when to press on, when to give up. These are all about timing. And if anybody knows me, a lot of my life is based upon being at the right place at the right time and being in the right energy to do the right thing. So for the average person, they're not going to observe a full moon or a new moon. And the average person may or may not want things, desire things, but when you know about when you know these cycles, you don't have to have a job. You don't have to, seriously, you don't have to have a job. You don't have to depend on anyone. You could easily live a life of leisure and ease when you just simply understand the cycles of time, right? A powerful CD to listen to is right now in reference to the lunar eclipse is Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon. And the reason that it, like, I would have said that anyways, but I was listening to it today, and the last song on the CD is called Eclipse, right? Just to tie into the energy is very strong. And when we talk about spiritual energies, it's millions upon millions of literal energies you could tap into. You can make up spiritual energies. There's no limit to the spiritual things that you could tap into. Ancestors, imaginary friends, guardian angels, gargoyles, you name it, right? But do something, right? Do not be trapped in this 3D realm. I can talk about energies and entities all day long, but if it don't vibrate or resonate with you, find your own, right? And a lot of this spiritual work, it begins with you acting in unison with your higher self. As you move and groove through the planet, uncovering yourself, your higher self is not going to lead you astray. It might look like it might feel like it. You might think that you're making the wrong decision, but take a moment or two, reflect upon yourself, give thanks. Thanks becomes the imprint for the future, so you'll create more situations that you could be thankful for. These are all tips and tricks that I utilize on a daily basis to stay in the flow of prosperity. Okay? I'm a normal, regular person that, hasn't figured everything out, but I'm only saying that I'm a normal and regular person because nobody has given me shit, right? Not like nobody has helped me, nobody has benefited me, nobody's looked out for me. That's not true. But when it comes from the motion and the ocean, the grooving and the things that I want to get accomplished, nobody said, here, Kyrie, do it like this. I had to go within myself to find who I truly am, develop that personality, and it all works out. But one of the major keys to this shit, the reason that I love this channel, the reason that I love what I do, is that I cover new moon, the full moon, the new moon, the full moon, the new moon, the full moon. What am I teaching? I'm teaching timing. I'm teaching consistency. You don't got to rely on me, but you can definitely rely on the lunar frequencies. All right. So let's deal with the channel, and I'm going to break this channel all the way down, right? Like I said, I got a lot of different flavors that's going to make up this Baskin Robbins ice cream. But you might need to sit down and take notes and understand the energy, because have you noticed that people are a lot more emotional lately? Are people on edge around you? Do you feel tension in the air? Do you feel like, let me just go to the store and come home? Or are y'all at the parties, at the functions? Let me know. What's the energy like this weekend? Is it tense? What about what's happening in Maine? Is that not crazy, or is that just normal? I said that the lunar eclipse energy starts 3 days before and it tinkers down 3 days after. And when we talk about lunar eclipse, we say lunar, luna, lunacy. It's the moon driving you crazy. So I want to be able to create an ambiance and an opportunity for people to begin to let all of that shit go. Whatever is tense, whatever is heavy, whatever is whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're going through, allow the energies, the lunar eclipse energies that's going to be on the planet. So when you talk about Mayans, you talk about a very astrological people. They really was into new moons and full moons and solar eclipses and things of that nature. And one of their deities was called Chel. And Chel is an energy that I've worked with in previous times and energies. And you can Google her, right? You can hit up the Wikipedia page, right? And read about Chel. Chel, my belle, said I be gone to November. Chel, a Mayan goddess associated with the rainbow. And the rainbow was the message that she was transmitting to me and through me, right? The rainbow, esoterically, represents the bridge between heaven and earth. And so I meditated on this rainbow. Like I said, you would have got this article like earlier this week, right? I had shit to do, so I couldn't do a video till like this moment, right? So if you wanted to get a download on this energy and be advanced, you got to join the Substack because I'm a write the article. I might not always have time to do the video because it just be always shit going on. But anyways, I meditated on the rainbow, and the rainbow showed up as the electromagnetic spectrum, and then it showed up as the chakras. And this was like the energy of Chakra Nova, and it was all like she gave birth to that book. She gave birth to that energy, and she like I had this picture for like a long time. Like I don't know when I used it before, but I for sure used it when I was doing like daily energy readings and shit like that. I wish I had enough time to do that shit, but that's a pipe dream. But I had this picture for a long time. This picture used to be like an old thumbnail. Energy is very tense. But she came back into my consciousness, and she started showing me the rainbow, right? And she said 777, right? Which is the codes that's part of my DNA sequence. 777. I got a son named Seven, right? Anyways, how many colors on the rainbow? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. That's 7. And then we went to the electromagnetic spectrum. And she was breaking down how the reason that people don't like, she basically was saying I need to get back on my chakra shit. Like keep teaching the people about chakras because they still need to learn about chakras, which I said cool. But she was telling me how motherfuckers might think that it's other shit to be concerned about outside of chakras. But if you really sat back and you really thought about it, not working with your chakras is like not working with shit. Because if the sun didn't shine, it wouldn't be nothing happening, period. And so we as earth beings require solar light to refract through us, to which we then act put out energy, do things, live, love, laugh, all based on solar energy. We create life based upon receiving energy from the light, and then transmuting that, alchemizing that energy, and projecting it. And so when it comes to the women in our lives, the men in our lives, the way we live, how fucked up it is or how beautiful it is, we might be trying to clean up all the time, right? Or trying to put makeup on somebody or put muscles on somebody and try to always work with the exterior, try to study the books and learn and be existential as fuck, right? And what she was showing me is that all of these things is like pouring gunk into your cup. And the idea of a cup or the idea of a soul is to allow it to be empty or to be clear. I always tell people to clear your mind. I always tell people to really just stay at a equilibrium when it comes to mental, meaning don't be too happy or don't be too sad, because you could be so happy about an energy vampire, right? You can meet an energy vampire, and because you don't do inner work, that energy vampire steals your energy, and you will allow it because you don't see the esoteric workings that need to take place for you to be a spiritual being. So as a spiritual being is not about adding to the cup. Because if you just continuously add it to the cup, it's an illusion about wealth and finances. If everything is equated to a cup or a uni or a yoni, then it's only so much that can fit inside the cup, right? And 10 times out of 10, your cup is filled, so you're not even adding anything to the cup. So you don't even notice the cup. It is just a mess. Emotional mess, mental mess, physical mess, life mess. And what becomes the reality for you? The reality for you is to begin to operate like a prism. Operate from a clear mind, not how much money you make, not and it's timing, it's clarity, it's ritual. Timing, clarity, ritual. What is the purpose of all of these things? The purpose of all of these things is to continue cultivating your divine personality, your true personality. As men, we are cultivating the personality that gets us the most pussy, or gets us married, or gets us to be somewhat attractive to the opposite sex. And once that's over and done with, we kind of shrivel up and die. The purpose for this thing is to get into a space where you don't live your life to impress people, to please people, to make people happy, to show off, to one day maybe show off, but to simply be in an equilibrium, zero, empty cup, clear mind space, so that you could begin to reflect the natural solar and lunar energy of an eclipse. So when you have these heavy emotions, when you have these unresolved traumas, these things begin to be intensified by the lunar eclipse energies. And what it is, I come from a small town called Canton, Ohio, and it was an acronym for Canton because it was always some shit happening, right? And it's just such a small town. It didn't even make no sense. Like we all should have just been working together on some, kumbaya shit. But we was always beefing. North side, west side, just regular hood shit. But the acronym for Kenton was crazy ass niggas tripping over nothing, right? And generally, when you look at your emotions and you tie it into a lunar eclipse, you're just a crazy ass nigga tripping over nothing. Whatever you're emotionally feeling or whatever is intensifying or magnetizing, it doesn't really matter. And it's not to say you give up on life or you live a bad life, but you live the most perfect life because you become to be a refractor for solar light. Like you become a flower, you become a tree, you become a lion or a leopard. You are acting out. What Shakespeare says is that every man and woman is basically on a stage acting out their part. So to simply act out your part, nobody has a bad part unless you want a bad part. Because when you think about your life and you think about the times you were crashing out and you may have leveled up at a certain point, you start to reflect and say, man, I could have always been doing this. I could have always been living this way. I just chose to fill out an application at Wendy's because that's what I thought that I deserved or some weird shit like that. So, we are activating ourselves. We are tuning in and tapping into who we are as energetic spiritual beings. And how do we identify our residence and our signature is by the enhancement of the saturation of the colors in our lives, or the balance of the colors in our lives, meaning that what we see is a reflection of our inner world. And if we don't like what we see, we don't change what we see, we change ourselves. And this is the biggest problem with spiritual development and spiritual people, is that they refuse to take responsibility of the life that they've created for themselves, to which they might think, why would I create this for myself? Well, the reason why a person might create this for themselves is because their cup is overfilled and they don't know how to utilize their cup. They don't know how to utilize the flow. So all of the flow does is just become spilling all over the place. Emotions all over the place. You want to do this, you want to do that. If you clear your energy space, if you clear your emotions, if you clear your mind, and you meditate long enough to just be at a no thought space. This takes practice, but it can be accomplished to whereas all you do is the next best thing. Because once you meditate, you're going to come out of that meditation, and always the next best thing is to clean your motherfucking room. Right? Always the next best thing to do is save some money, right? Go to the grocery store or do something practical. Do something that is sensible to whereas you'll feel good about it. And you keep adding and you keep doing those things. And listen, people gonna watch you do those things, and they're gonna look at you like, damn. But what you know about this process is that it takes a long, long time to build a house brick by brick, and you the only person building it. So, self-activation, self-realization, looking at yourself in this energetic, fluorescent, ambiotic color spectrum, like a brilliant rainbow flame that just exists in oscillation. This is what you are. High-powered technological device that actually has a personality that can be brought. So you gotta let whoever you think you are move out the fucking way. Stop trying so hard. Okay? She came through with the real channel, so I suggest y'all, I don't know, get into the chakra work, man. Get into the chakra work. I don't know how to say it more clearer than that. I know niggas probably like, I feel like people try to misunderstand me on purpose. If you was me, you would feel like that. And maybe I'm just tripping. But the energy that you are is likened to a rainbow. And when you tune in and tap into your energetic color spectrum and begin to just, like, if you can, close your eyes and begin to imagine a rainbow gradient and see the brilliant spectacle, which is you, visually. Work with this energy. Feel good. See, when you close your eyes, you may or may not see black, but you can alter the black by modifying or augmenting and then inputting a rainbow gradient and see how it oscillates in waves. This is who you are energetically. This is your chakras in real time, okay? And this is a channel, so take with it what you want to take with it. Some people take it, some people leave it. I'm cool with that. Everything ain't for everybody. So let's talk about the science of today. First things first, lunar eclipses only happen on the full moon, right? A lunar eclipse happens on the full moon, while a solar eclipse happens on the new moon. They always follow one another, and they always align with the nodal axis, meaning that there is a particular portal for spirits to go to and from in reference to timing. And these timing portals or stargates occur during lunar eclipses. This is why it's a whole war going on in betwixt new moon and full moon. I mean, new moon and full moons, but solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. And they did the same thing last year or whenever Biden got to be a president. They, in the next eclipse cycle, they started that war with such and such. I can't even think of the country. The blue and yellow flag. So with that being said, the powers that were utilize new moons and full moons to get their shit off, unbeknownst to human beings that are filled with nonsense on the daily. Let's keep it a buck 2000. Every song, every video, every reel, every TikTok, everything you consume fills your cup to a certain extent. Certain people, younger people, they make it a lifetime mission to absorb as much content as they can within a day. To which, when you have spiritual conversations with them, good luck with that. Listen, one thing's for sure, two things for certain. These kids don't give a fuck about spirituality unless it got something to do with a lie on TikTok. Because nobody is ever in the science of cleaning the cup. To which you say, I'm going to buy my daughter more stuff. I'm going to buy my son more stuff. I'm going to get him more stuff over the stuff that he already got. And after that, I'm going to buy him more shit. Hey, when I'm done buying him shit, I'm going to get him some more shit. Meaning that We are programmed and conditioned from an early age to want more. Every Christmas, your kid want more shit. So when we talk about said cleaning the cup and releasing energy, you gotta blame your mama for that. Because she was the one that conditioned you to always want more and more and more and more and more and more and more. So, lunar eclipses are a gateway. Lunar eclipses are opportunities for you to amass fortunes. Fuck what's going on in the news. Fuck what's going on TikTok. Fuck what's going on anywhere. It could be a nigga right next to you going through it. You better say fuck what he going through. It's a lunar eclipse. I have to tune in and tap in to the energy of the cosmos. How do you do this? We're dealing with the sun, we're dealing with the earth, and we're dealing with the moon, and we're dealing with an alignment with no obstructions. We're dealing with direct energy, direct reflection. So one would say a bunch of shit, right? It's a bunch of shit one would or one could say. The thing that I'm suggesting is that you clear your mind and you clear your emotions and you let motherfuckers go crazy if that's what they want to do. Because trust and believe, it's a lunar eclipse. Let them get their shit off. The kids gonna be crying. Everybody gonna be fighting. The dog gonna be barking. The cat gonna be meowing. This too shall pass, right? Because the energy is direct. Now, if what you wanted and what you desired hasn't come into manifest, then I just don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't know what, like, you gotta start cutting everything off that you've been doing. Because the spiritual energy is so high and your ancestors want you to win so much. You acting like you care, you must be completely cut off to the spiritual realm. And the darker that it gets, the harder that it gets, the more that you will have to deal with the spiritual realm. I'm just saying, goddamn, it's such of an opportunity for spiritual beings. Take advantage of this energy. Work with energies. If something happened in your dreams and you know something of it, repeat it in this life, in this waking world. Try your best, right? And then understand that, like, shit that should have been said, shit that should have been did is going to happen in some other dimension. Might not be in this dimension, but it's for sure going to happen. So you need to figure out what timeline you want to be on. Every night you go to different timelines, different dimensions. You wake up in different energies, different motivations, things like that. Okay. Maybe you want to get into a different timeline. Maybe you want to do some timeline jumping. And what does this look like in normal speech? Hey, I need some more money. Hey, I need this situation is heavy. I need it to lighten a little bit. Now go into the timeline where the situation is you got your shit together. Because one, you can play with this and it's going to play with you. Or two, we can go through this goddamn article and we can go through these goddamn links. Like I said, this is probably going to be a long video because I really want to explain and point out some shit and elaborate on some motherfucking points. Because I'll be goddamn, like, I know motherfuckers like to fluff you to death. I know people like to fluff you to death. I know motherfuckers want to flip flop on their messaging. One's in the chat if you watch motherfuckers just flip flop on their messaging. Be inconsistent as fuck when it comes to what they even about. Like, niggas is really trying to get y'all motherfucking asses attention, and they doing a good job because y'all is entertained. But I'm gonna just do the shit that I've been doing because this is shit that been actually working. Cause like I said, I'm a regular ass person who ain't never really thought I was ever going to amount to shit. And I'm talking about a person who makes a way out of no way. This is what I'm about. I'm about working with the spiritual realm in the sense that I just don't know shit and I like to know shit and I like to improve and understand things, you know, basically. So with this being said, looking at this lunar eclipse, we got a couple of things taking place. Like, this is marriage type of energy. This is consecration of serious types of energies. This is a blood moon. So spiritual women are going to menstruate during this lunar eclipse. Like, I'm telling you, Cash Money is an army, better yet a navy. It's a legion of real spiritual entities and energies. And it goes into the blood of the goddess, the living blood of the goddess. And it's also like working with Ganesha, like road openers, new beginning work, moving, relocation, those types of things. New business, new opportunities. But you gotta understand that the path is narrow for shit. You gotta understand that, like, everything ain't for everybody. And when you on a goddamn bridge, cause life is like a bridge. Life is like a bridge. If you step too much to the left, your life is over. And you gotta actually think about the shit that you came down here and what you actually want to live for. Man, you can't be out here unhappy. You can't be out here broke and weird and fucked up for real. All because your cup is full. Do y'all understand that? Do y'all understand that holding on mentally and emotionally is fucking you up emotionally and mentally? And it just make you crazy? And the grand scheme of things, don't nobody give a fuck. And in the grand scheme of things, ain't nobody gonna come and save you. And in the grand scheme of things, you're gonna have to create your own motion. And in the grand scheme of things, you can, because you are a powerful spiritual being. So, in simple terms, working with Ganesha, working with Ishu, working with road openers or energies to start things off, kick things off, is the proper way to go about this shit. If you just going into this shit raw dog, fucking with Oshun, fucking with spirits, fucking with goddesses, fucking with whoever, doing whatever, you're gonna think that the spiritual shit do not work, and then you're gonna get scammed by a bitch that don't know shit, and it's the blind leading the blind. Your magic will pop off. Your energy will pop off if you work with Ishu, Ganesha, Ogun, maybe not. More or less Ishu, Ganesha, energies like that, right? I would even go to say working with Jesus. And the way that we actually notice 95% of us in this chat was actually members of the church way before we came into spirituality, meaning that when you deal with spirituality long enough, Jesus be like, all right, nigga, you've done enough. You've caught the Holy Ghost one too many times, bitch ass nigga. All right, here goes some candles and start evolving this fucking shucking and jiving, nigga. Wearing fucking suits every Sunday, thinking you actually doing some shit. Fucking all of these church girls, nigga. Okay, take the tambourine out your hand, and get to this candle magic, nigga. What the fuck, right? At a certain point, we get up out the church, so energies that prepare us for spiritual development, well and good. This is how it works. If you outside of this thought and you think you can just go fuck with Lakshmi, go fuck with these energies, Oshun, all these energies, you gonna think that spirituality do not work. Same way is, say for instance, Ishu just represents a doorway. And you want to get into the building and go to the 7th floor. But for some reason, you don't want to go through the door. So your ass get a fucking one of those things with the 3 prongs and you fucking throw it up to the fucking 7th floor and fucking scale it up. You know what I'm saying? Like you fucking Spider-Man without the webbing and shit. You just real weird about it when you could have just walked through the door and took the elevator. But you said, no, I don't want to walk through the door because I don't know. Like, it makes no sense. Now, these particular energies, Sun and Libra, is not about choice. So when you look at Libra and look at the 7th house, it's like marriage. What marriage is or what marriage isn't, I'm going to tell you, it's not about choice. Like, the person that you are in a relationship with, you don't cycle that out. It's just it's like a finite, it's like that is the person. Okay? So when you make a decision, it's like that. How you live, it's like that. And I love the equanimity or the balance between Libra and Aries, because when you act, you can act in a way that just leads you to a brick wall. Or you can act in a way that brings you generational wealth. What's the difference? The difference is clarity. The difference is timing. So another thing that we want to point out. So if you can, I don't know, it's not as big as I would like it to be. Let's try to see if we can get it closer, get it a little bigger. Pause. They say that this is a partial lunar eclipse. The reason that it's a partial lunar eclipse is because all of the action is beyond the nodes a little bit, right? It's beyond the nodes. So since it's beyond the nodes, it's going to be a partial. See, when it is a total lunar eclipse, it would have been the sun right here and the moon right here. But they kind of down and out. They close enough, like within 10 degrees, that is somewhat of a eclipse. Whenever we have an eclipse is when these energies are anytime in your astrology chart. When you look at your birth chart and you look at your north node and your south node, say for instance, your sun was conjunct the north node and your moon was conjunct the south node. That means you came here on a literal Stargate portal. So, interesting chart, but not too much going on that I really want to point out and talk about based on the overall conversation of the full moon. Maybe this Monday I'll do a This Week in Astrology and get more in depth with the other aspects that's happening on the chart. But the main thing that I want to show you is that motherfucking Mercury and Mars is at an exact conjunction. What does that mean spiritually? That means working with Ganesha Ishu energies during this lunar eclipse. So we're working with masculine energies, we're working with feminine energies, and we're not like weird about it. We're working with Lakshmi and we're working with Ishu like energies. Mercurial type of energies. Just Google, maybe it's a list online. Maybe it's a list online we could, because this is for research. Take your notes. Mercurial deities. Is there a such thing? Mercurian deities. There we go. Google that shit. Hermes. Let me see. Hermes, Mercury, of course, Set, Adonis, Apollo, Avernus, Buddha. How could I forget? Inky. I'm just saying the ones that I know. Some of these I don't know. Thoth, Vaviscus. Vaviscus, I might have to fuck with Vaviscus. I don't know. He seemed interesting. So it's a whole list of Mercurian deities you could deal with to open the way. Start things off. Powerful if you do so. Alright, so let's continue with the conversation. So Saturday, October 28th, the lunar eclipse. I can show y'all one more thing. Just how like I would use AstroSeek, and of course if you want the link, just look at the Substack and click the links that I'm clicking on, and you will get to the same places I'm getting to. You can actually tie in and tap into the fixed stars in reference to wherever placement, even if you wanted to look at the chart and then see like what fixed star alignments that you had, right? I mean, all I'm doing is pointing out to say that there are a list of mercurial deities and that you could choose whatever deity that you wanted to choose. I'm not saying which deity aligns with what, meaning that if Apollo is not a mercurial deity, then just don't deal with them. But that wasn't the point of showing you the list. But moving on, if you can look at where the moon is at during this lunar eclipse, you'll see the fixed star Sheridan. Okay? So that'll give you clues. Then from there, you can like do things like wherever in your chart it might be another star. You might get more information. I'm telling you, if you look up these stars, it's just helping you understand the chart that much more thoroughly. So we can do that right now. Astrology King is a good website to go to. They have basically all of the fixed stars already charted. So I use discernment with everything that I read online, and this is just one of those other things that like I use as a resource. And so one of these things that I wanted to kind of just show you is maybe it was somewhere else. But anyways, I got a few links and maybe I confused it. But anyways, the name Sheridan is derived from the Arabic meaning the two signs. The name is a reference to Sheridan and Mesarthim, once being the nearest bright stars in the northern spring equinox. So when you look at these stars represent the dawn of time. Because if you were to buy a bag that all things spiritual started off as the study of astrology and astronomy, then you could then relate all spiritual stories, mythological stories to astronomical understanding, because everybody deals with astronomy and astrology, because astronomy and astrology deals with time, and time is what time rolls through us. We all know our age. We all know time is something is like tangible to all of us. We know like our clock is always ticking. So with that being said, time is always what we keep track of, what we know and what we understand. Now, before technology and before Europeanism and colonialism, we incorporated color and art and esteem and mythologies to our mythological and astronomical studies. Now, we don't give a fuck about that shit. So, now, just because that we don't give a fuck about it, don't mean that it doesn't hold some type of resonance and some type of power. So when we talk about Hindu astronomy, Sheraton and Mesmerithim were known as Ashvins, the twin Vedic gods of medicine. Now, it's a very easy way to access this energy, because solar energy impregnates plants, and plants take solar energy, alchemize solar energy, and turn it into chemicals. We take the chemicals, we ingest the chemicals, and we gain solar knowledge. But if I take a herb, it ain't gonna help you. And please believe, motherfuckers love to hustle every single day, 7 days a week. But you better take your tea regardless of anything or anybody. Even if you gotta get that shit from Amazon. Okay? Get you some herbs and drink that shit, because it's literally drinking the sun and the moon. One's in the chat if that makes sense. Drink you some tea. So let's look at the sun. The sun in true sidereal is at the last leg of Virgo, and in Most charts, they do 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. So 20 degrees of Virgo is always going to be cut out in a chart. So it'll look like Libra in a regular chart, but in a true sidereal chart on Master in the Zodiac, you'll see that the Sun, Mercury, and Mars is actually in Virgo. But what is Virgo? What is the foot of Virgo? The foot of Virgo is a gateway. I'm sorry for using the word, but it literally is a gateway. And when you think about this particular, and I wonder if I probably didn't, but I'm gonna do it right here because I got the time and I'm just ready to just sharing. This is probably where it was at. This is where it was at. So let's look at the fixed stars again. This is just education, bro. This is not entertainment at all. If you would sit back and learn, you will learn. But if you want to like be entertained and get hit with rhetoric, I'm definitely going to be boring. So this is the crazy part, right? In Western astrology, is going to say that it is a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. They'll have it 3 degrees in Scorpio, but it's conjunct the fixed star of Surma. And then you'll see that the fixed star is in the Virgo constellation. So it's like, how can Surma be in Virgo, but then also be in Scorpio? The math don't math. Niggas always talking about how Western astrology deal with math. What type of math is that? That's not math to me. So, fixed star Surma, or Surma by its Greek titles, Al-Ghafir by its more meaningful name in Arabic. The significance of this star and title lies firstly in the head of Islam. Ghafar means to cover and to suppress. The longer the word is a recognition, the greater our attainment of spiritual power, or any power at all. Since all is given to us by God, then the more serious our lapses into error and sin to which we remain prone, no matter what power, even the most spiritual, we attain. Some will rephrase to say that especially the most spiritual. So it becomes to be spiritual power or any power at all. And spiritual power comes through clarity. It comes through silence. It comes through observation. This other type of power comes from sacrifice, hard work, and no guarantees that you even going to get power at the end of the day. So when you talk about spiritual power and you talk about the ego power, you got to be real clear to understand that everything you have is given by God. So one of the main understandings about spiritual development is that there is no better person. There is no bad person. And when you observe what other people are doing, you're assuming of what's happening on the exterior. And if that was the purpose, niggas would get paid for watching basketball. If niggas said we know everything, and trust me, it's some people who make money by watching basketball, but not everybody. Most niggas just watch basketball and for the fuck of it, and know everything about basketball for the hell of it. Now, by studying the greats, you might feel empowered by that shit, and learning from the greats, you might feel knowledgeable, but it's all a feeling. It's all shit that makes sense to you in your head. The reality is that you're breathing and you need water and you need sex. Everything is given to us by God, and we are all on equal footing. We only forget this and misunderstand this. And this is the energy of the sun. It's hard to clear. It's hard to clear. It's hard to clean your cup. It's hard to look within yourself and see nothing, desire nothing. That's the hardest thing. And so when we then go to the existential, we want to build up power to attain. And this power is flawed. Real power is knowing how to move. What do I mean when I say that? Real power is making your hand move, right? Using your mind to make your hand move. Real power is using your mind to bring finances. Real power is using your mind to bring love, to bring homes, to, do what you need to do spiritually, and the rest magnetize it. That's real power. Effort feels like power. But in order to get the results, you need to constantly apply the effort. And when you don't or can't, you ain't got shit coming. Real power is like this. This is real power. Very easy to do this, but very powerful to do it at the same time. To control things with your mind is the most powerful thing you can do. And I put a link on there to people might be like, well, what is spiritual inner work? I put a link in there right there. So get on the Substack and read a long article about what is spiritual work and take notes. Oh, I want to read this. Letting go of healthy attachments. I like that. I like the way of that sounding. Because boy, oh boy, y'all love getting rid of unhealthy shit. Don't want to get rid of no healthy shit, and I wonder why. Listen to this. I love this. I love the way this shit start off. Listen to this shit. This is some hot shit. We going down, baby. A lot of spiritual work focuses on the stuff we know we need to get rid of. It's the usual starting point. It's like going to a house and helping someone clean stuff out. You start with the stuff they have the least attachment to before working your way to getting rid of the stuff to which they have stronger attachments. Oh Lord, Can you hear me? Y'all don't hear me. It's hard to have a clean cup when you have strong attachments to shit. So much so, those attachments are so strong that you never think to let them go. Doing inner work this way helps people see the benefits of letting go. In general, there are a whole lot of seemingly healthy attachments that inhibit people rather than actually helping them. Trust me, I see it every day. I see it all the time. We would rather be attached to things that we love and be held back than let that shit go. Mentally, even emotionally. We would rather hold on to these things as opposed to letting it go. Nigga done opened up one tab too many type shit. One tab too many. Restart this. I need my theme music. I don't even be feeling right without it. I feel like my whole world be stopping. There we go. Come to daddy. Come to papa. So it's very it's a very powerful thing. It's a very subtle thing. Like, to be energetically out of alignment and to think that your value and your self-worth is based upon other people's opinion of you. And so you work so hard to be in good standing with people who don't even give a fuck about you, in the sense that how they feel about you has any bearing on your overall outcome. The only thing that matters about your overall outcome is your ability to transmute who you are as a soul. Because this soul that you have has a personality that wants to be developed, that wants to be brought to the surface. And you should work tirelessly every single day to become the person that you were always meant to be, without pointing fingers and blaming somebody. So let's look at the moon. The moon is a cross in the energy of Aries. See, when you deal with sidereal astrology, it's not always Taurus and Scorpio. Aries in Libra. As you can see, the moon is in Aries and the sun is in Virgo, but it's still a full moon. It's just true sidereal. It's just the truth. It's not to confuse you, but life is not orderly. It's not what you think it's going to be. It's surprising. It's different. If you look at the moon is in direct alignment with Sheridan. fixed star Sheridan. Now, the thing that I want us to like really key in about Sheridan is that it is a dual star. And this dual star is very hot, meaning that because it's so hot, like it's hot in Detroit and it's damn near about to be November. And everybody outside with t-shirts. But if you do the research on Sheridan, it's like this binary star that puts out a lot of heat. Mm-mm. It's really like one of those like, and it ties into Ishu and Ganesha and those opening of the way energies, because this star is like pole position. It's like the number one star. If Aries represents the number one sign, this star is like the first fixed star that says, okay, we're in Aries now, right? And having a full moon aligned to this particular energy, a lunar eclipse is another way of saying that, if I can find it, it's saying it's time for a new beginning. It's time for a cosmic reset. And the thing of it is, it's not bad. It's great. It's amazing. It's a new spiritual cycle. Like, okay, what are you afraid of? Why does starting over, why is getting rid of this life and this energy a bad thing? Why starting over in some new shit, better shit, a bad thing? Would be questions that one would have to ask themselves if they have a hard time with starting over. Whenever you deal with Aries energy, you dealing with like, so say for instance we talking about a new beginning, right? And we're saying like new beginning, new beginning, new beginning, new beginning, new beginning, right? And it's like, okay, new beginning, new beginning, new beginning. What does that actually mean? It means that now I'm changing, and the things that I need to say and the things I need to do is different. So the people that is used to me being a certain type of way, doing a certain type of thing, they're going to be upset or triggered because they might be used to you doing what they want you to do when you wanted to do it. But when you in a new beginning space, it's not always cooperative. And it may be cooperative in reference to the Libra energy if you decide to say, are we going to the same destination? Do you want to go to the same destination that I want to go to? Because if you want to go to the same place that I want to go, you can hop in right now. But if you don't want to go to the same place that I want to go, then let's just cut ties right now. I was like, man, what is that smell? I was like, damn, I got a whiff of something. And then that just now hit me. Here's the damn weed. Smelling like doo-doo. Smelling like boo-boo. So, Aries energy might seem like new beginning, new beginning, new beginning. Hallelujah, I'm so happy. But usually, your habits and the way that you've been going have created a negative energy. And now you got to take a chance and tell your mama to kiss your ass. You about to do it like this. Because this is new beginning energy. You got to speak up for yourself. You got, in order to cultivate your spiritual self, you got to be allowed to become. And you can't be suppressed by other people saying, oh, you sound weird. Oh, you sound stupid. Oh, I don't want to hear that shit. Or whatever the case may be. That might be how they feel. You got to put yourself in positions to either say, I'm tired of this shit, I need to do something else. Or you about to listen to me because that's how we converse, you know? When you get on the spiritual path, you better do that shit for you. So many times motherfuckers be trying to help people and it's like, you don't know how to help yourself. You think that this shit is about other people. That's low value energy. This shit is about you. This shit is about cultivating your soul's personality into your actual personality. And the shit that you're trying to do, the dick that you're trying to get, the pussy you're trying to get is irrelevant. And then we also talking about the throat chakra. If you need a good video on the throat chakra, is one of my best videos. I don't even be rating videos like that, but just Google throat chakra and hood mystic. I go in, I get in real deep detail about that. So let me close out this tab before it shut down on me again. This binary star system that we're having a lunar eclipse in is very powerful and is very hot. Meaning that the lunar rays is shining down at a level that you could utilize for your benefit. You could create the world that you want to live in. But once again, you got to get off the bullshit. You got to be clear. You can't be clear. You can't be clear if you want 1,000,001 things. It might sound like it. It might feel like it. But you can't. You got to fixate on one thing with this energy. For a lot of us, one's in the chat if that one thing is money. One's in the chat if that one thing is money for you. It's okay. It's a safe space. It's late at night. Lunar